Okay, so we're back. I was offline. Didn't realize I was. We're trying to track down this whole concept of self-selected. Because we're using selected now. We need to remove that from here. No, we don't. We need target selection. Target selection, and then in the engine, so this thing starts as an XY and finds a given cell type and passes to the world during update. Passes to update world. Okay, that's pretty good definition. We need to make sure when we do world update, that's when we run the loop. Technically could pass this down. In theory, the engine should have access to society. When we update the units, we say that the target selection equals selected. So if it's not already selected, yeah, we're gonna change the name. And it's not a tuple. So if it's a tuple, we're not gonna do this yet. We only do this once we've found an actual unit. We update the state, we update the azimuth. So I think we should update the azimuth first and then update the state. This should still break. Okay, so it's not actually changing the home. We do have a simulation running, which is cool, but self-selected. So let's look at this. This needs to be target selected. Target selection. Initialize the grid. We set target selection to none. This triggers a reset on the global level, on the world level. That's what we want. Target selection equals none. Self dot. This is society. Okay. We also just want to make sure we redo this. Triggers a reset on the world level. We want to can we delete all of them? weave units. We're gonna create define weave units, and then all that's gonna do is iterate through these, and then when we call repopulate, where do we even call repopulate? Oh, we'll just say self weave units. That's fine. The reason we're not just calling repopulate here is because when we initialize society, we shouldn't have target selected at all, and then we can't delete something that doesn't exist yet, so we have to declare it in the initializer. If it's not a tuple, then we're going to return. I think we still want to keep a society. I don't know what we're doing here anymore. We're trying to check if it's one that we've selected. We should be, no, this is right. But we need to change this to cursor. And then cursor, and then cursor, and then target selection. There we go. Now this makes sense. We iterate if it's not a tuple. Okay. What we'll do is we'll unwrap it. So if is instance of a move action, then self.cursor equals self.cursor xy. If it's not a move action, we need to change this to target action. We need to like make this explicit. And we will, if it's not a move action, yeah, we're gonna have to implement that here. But we should be able to do it like that, which means we can move it here and do it like this. Then we can get rid of that guy. And then, so now, I think that's it. Oh, right, we need to change the unit cursor to say self target action. Yeah, there we go. Then yeah, so we have a target selection. The target selection determines the target action. The target action determines the target direction. So there's something that is broken actually, and I don't know why we're doing it. If the target action is none, we return. Let's just do that. Coder state has no attribute x, y. This is where we gotta look at the code. Zoom out a little bit. Direction vector takes target action x, y. So this actually needs to be target selection. World attribute has no target action. This should be unit. Oh, so there is no target selection unit. If it's not a tuple, we are checking if a given unit matches the selection of the grid coordinates provided by the user input. So, and then this point, so if we have the same xy as a given unit, then we select that unit. Look at that. Encoder state has no xy. So we're still at this problem again. Target action for an encoder state. So we have a target selection. We set the unit's target selection to the R target selection now. When we update the azimuth, we call move action. So if the target action none, why is the target action encoder state? Now we've got to unweave all of these problems because we have two sets of target actions now. So this one is the encoder state. Let's call this what do we call this? So this is the piece where our AI has like 7 fingers and it just picks an encoder state. So it's a chosen action. But that could get confusing because the target action is either determined by a user or determined as a result of the encoder state. So I don't want to say action state, but that is probably the right term. But then we get confused with like target action, action state. Maybe we just say encoder state. I hate using generic terms like that though, because it doesn't really mean anything. Like encoder state doesn't inherently mean anything. So encoder state, and then now we have self state. So that's why things get confusing, because then also the state of our application is also a state. It's just, I don't know. Encoder state doesn't seem like the right thing. Yeah, I think the rest of these are choose random action. So random action is actually returns a random encoder state. Yeah. So it's not a encoder state. So we need to change this to choose random encoder. Target. I am open to ideas on better names if anyone has one. Choose random action. Now needs to be choose random encoder. I have no clue if this is gonna work. Let's see, they are spawning and dying. They don't seem to be doing random movement. Yeah, they are. Okay. It's just like very intermittent. They don't seem very ambitious today. Maybe we had an overlap in terms. We were messing it up, and that's what was giving us that behavior. World object has no attribute. Target action. Yes, target selection. Very observant. So they are kind of moving a little bit. They're not moving like they were, though. I'm a little confused because they were moving a lot. Now they're almost not moving at all. You can see it is picking home. 8 is not a valid move action. Directional move action. When we go to move action, it gets a value of X and Y. I don't even know the context of this. Let's see, we update the world, then we update the units, and then we update the state. And when we update the state, we look ahead. That's probably not the best name for that. Look ahead. What's the word? What's a good word for like? Fuck, my computer froze. What's a good word for? Like determining where you are, like compass? Locate? Self.locate? Orient. Okay, self-orient. And then let's see. I don't really like the self-express. I mean, I do, but I don't. let's just call this act, and then where's this whole look ahead thing? Orient, and then let's move these down here. Random target and choose best target. I feel like those should go in the azimuth. I don't know if it'll create problems, but feel like it should go there. And then track is not isn't track, pretty sure, where were we just at? The unit. Track actually comes from the closet. Cosmos. Track. It's gonna make us pull it out of the closet. Okay. Yeah, choose random state, choose best target. All of these things should go together. And our unit should only handle the state. We get older, we have energy loss, life sucks. Random target. I feel like that should come from the azimuth as well, but we're not keeping track of all of the homes and all of that here. But we should. It should actually be in our targeting system. Yeah, let's actually move all of that. Home and markets. Let's move that to the targeting system, because we will need those here when we drop a target or choose a target. We actually could say targets and not care about what kind of targets they are. Oh, we do have potential targets. I forgot that we wrote all this. Huh? Yeah. I can see him. About to come in there and play with him, I guess. Yeah.